Hello everyone. Today, on behalf of YCM, I'll be interviewing Mrs. Prerna Kohli, who is a partner and heads the mediation practice at Zeus Law Associates. After an extensive experience in litigation, she began her engagement with mediation in the year 2014, and since then, she has successfully mediated over 100 court annexed and pre litigation matters. She has empowered and encouraged parties to resolve their disputes amicably and in time. Recently, she achieved two international standings with the Singapore International Mediation Institute and the International Mediation Institute. She is an empaneled mediator with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs as well as the Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. Ma'am, we are truly glad to have you here today, and we believe that we can really learn a lot from your insights. Thank you. Why are you a believer in mediation?
Well, thank you so much for having me on board today, Snigdha. And the question raised is, why am I a believer in mediation? Well, I would say that mediation is similar to building a golden bridge between parties. It's an element of hope which creates a kind of magic of possibility between parties who are already not having it very easy. It's a process which is very dynamic, collaborative. It doesn't work like you versus me. It's working on the principle of we together. It's a neutral platform which provides flexibility, empowers the parties. It's voluntary. The beauty of mediation, I would say, it being strictly confidential is something which is really, really, I think, beneficial to the parties who are in dispute. Self-determination, which sets it apart from litigation, where it's party-centric process and the decisions made by the parties are informed. They together tailor-make the amicable agreements. And also, I think a big highlight of mediation is that it is cost and time effective, which I think is really, really important for the parties.
Yes. Yes, thank you, ma'am. And can you please share one of the biggest learning that you had in any of your mediation cases? Anything
Well,
that you...
yeah, in fact, when you talk about mediation and as a mediator, we keep learning so much from our parties and almost like regularly. So, I have, this is one, I would like to just kind of share this with this experience of mine with you, that we had this matter with us where we presumed that the parties were probably not prepared and they were kind of into mediation too premature. And they kind of did go through the process, but they, you could figure out that they're looking towards a more formal decision from the court. So of course, you understand the concept of mediation. We don't push parties, and we just, kind of pleasantly parted ways. And it was really so amazing that once they were in court, they again, I think, requested for another session of mediation just to try their luck. And it was such a happy feeling when they amicably decided to resolve and, part ways in a much better manner. So the learning which I would say over here is that where there is a will, there's a way, right?
Yeah.
And also as a mediator, we don't need to stress on how many settlements we've been able to achieve. It's all about the kind of process and the atmosphere which we provide to our parties, how much comfortable we can make them feel. And that is something which once, if they kind of feel, would work in their favor. I see very little reason why they would not take this platform, and make good use of it. So I think, providing a good environment for them and a momentum which, is gained for in their favor, which doesn't go in vain, is a job of a mediator. So that was my learning about this one experience, which I'd like to share.
That really does sound very nice and insightful. Thank you, ma'am. So, do you think that the youth of this country should be trained with their conflict management skills, and if yes, then why?
See, when we talk about conflict management, then it is all about how we manage a conflict, right? So whenever a conflict arises, I think once you have got a fair idea in your mind that, okay, conflict would be related within my head, which I need to settle first. It's always about me first, it's within. And then thereafter, also realizing the fact that we all are made differently. So how we handle that conflict, how we handle different personalities, either we could come together or we could just tear apart. So first we need to have this clarity in our head, declutter our minds about it. And then, of course, there are nature's way of also giving us messages. You look at the palm of your hand, you have 5 fingers, and they're all different. So, you still kind of happen to make a very strong fist together. So when you look at all that, I mean, I'm sure like it's something which is within, if we choose to manage, we could do it beautifully, and we could use conflict very productively. And also I would like to state one more thing, that, it is also about changing the frame. When we talk about changing the frame is whenever there is a trouble or a turmoil, how well would you build the trust element there? Wherever there is a harmful competition, how well could you make it healthy? And where there is an element of distrust, how would you make it convert it into trust? So all these misunderstandings, and how do you convert it into proper understandings between yourselves? All these things are, and I think if you are managing your conflicts, then that shows a lot of maturity also of an individual. And youth, of course, is something which we really, really bank upon, and definitely look forward to them taking this ahead.
Okay, and what do you think about a standalone law for mediation, as like in India, as it already exists in other jurisdictions?
See, when we talk about a standalone alone law in mediation, that is something which I think it is something which is need of the hour. And we have already got a panel of experts on board who have sent a proposal through the Supreme Court to the government. And see, when you have an enactment in place, it guides you, it adds credibility, it adds clarity, and it also lays down the procedures, the standards, the professionalism that needs to be followed. It encourages private mediation and enforceability of the agreements. Also, it's like, if with the Singapore Convention of Mediation coming in, there'll be a lot of cross-border disputes. So, and India has already signed it, and when we introduce a law, we ratify it too. So everything, I mean, would work very well, and I think most of us are really looking forward to a legislation coming in place.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And as per your experience, mediation is effective in which types of cases, which kind of cases?
See, there is a lot. I mean, if you, mediation, when we talk about the type of cases, if you see, there was this AFCON's judgment which had also mentioned, this various cases which are appropriate or inappropriate for the for mediation. And thereafter, the statutes came up: the commercial, the consumer, the RERA, the IPs, IBC. All these acts have put in their clauses. So when we talk about court annex mediation, that's the where the judges, the lawyers, and the parties are working in tandem. So when a court annex matter goes to court, it's referred by the judge. Then the lawyers are representing the parties, and those parties, when in mediation, are participating. So we have court annexed matters which come in the centers, the high court centers or the district court centers. And then you have the pre-litigation, and DDRS is one of them. And of course, a lot of community matters, a lot of family matters, and a lot of other matters which are mentioned there is this pre-institutional matter of the Commercial Court Act. I mean, all these are referred. And when you talk about the cases, well, I would say they are a large number. You have the corporate, you have the commercial, you have the consumer, you have the neighborhood, you have the family, you have family business disputes, you have the landlord tenant, and you have, I think, the builders, and there are a lot of large number of cases which are being referred to mediation. And of course, looking forward to the cross-border disputes soon.
Yeah, international.
Those matters will come up eventually. Yeah, eventually those will also.
So mediation is not being used to its maximum potential in India. So what do you think can be done to tackle this problem?
See, India, I mean, since we have such a rich cultural heritage, and we are such a, I think, huge, brilliant democracy being run, and with such a diverse culture, see, we need to also understand that the mindsets are very difficult to change. And from what we hear, that every 20 kilometers there's a change in dynamics, right? Yeah. So when we're looking at a country as large as India, we also need to understand that yes, there is a huge potential being offered, but from the judiciary point of view, they are the biggest influencers. And then of course the parties, once they are aware, they know that there are so many forums and platforms that they could approach. And mediators, yes, they definitely need to be giving in their complete, I would say, focus. That and the grassroots levels, the legislative framework, which we're really hoping to come in very soon, then the mediation centers, then also the various kind of training programs and the courses that happen. All these would definitely benefit in creating the kind of potential. And of course, looking forward to the government also playing a leadership role here in creating an autonomous body in this regard. Yeah.
And do you think that there's a difference between how men and women mediate? And is there like do you have a style of mediation?
Well, I would just say this is a very tricky question. Because, for me, it's again gender, of course, but personality differences and how well, see, women are, biologically more better in softer skills, and men may be more direct that's the way nature might have planned. But then I'm definitely not getting into the details of this, because for me, all this would matter initially to the parties, but eventually what matters is your competence and your skill set, right? So that actually is what will carry it forward for you. How well you're able to build a rapport with the party, irrespective of you being a lady or a man. And also, I have realized over due course that co-mediation is a great concept when we are trying to equalize and balance, because certain cultures have their preferences. A male may not be very happy sharing in a single session details which he would like to do, or vice versa. For a lady, she'd prefer a lady mediator whom she can actually divulge details she would not be comfortable doing otherwise. So when there are preferences and the culture doesn't permit, and your mindset is different, then of course co-mediation would be of huge benefit here.
Okay, okay. And do you think that the youth of this country can bring a change in the like dispute resolution culture, in which people are like really quick to get adversarial?
See, yeah, because there is a lot of exposure and awareness in the youth, and of course, of late, we have a lot of young blood getting into meditation to begin with. So when you talk about meditation, that means that you're ultimately trying to calm yourselves, be mindful, be aware. So all these factor in with, I think they're a part of a skill of mediation as well, because as a mediator, you are the one providing that kind of comfort around. So a mix of mediation, meditation with the youth, and I think this is a very, very potent combination we have here. And for them to give a push to mediation as a primary mode of resolution would be great. And since they all love to travel, I'm sure all you youngsters love to travel. So by traveling, creating mediation camps, writing blogs, and all latest developments, surveys and research work, whatever all you youngsters are good at, I think that's going to be some huge change you all could bring in together.
And what would be your message to all the aspiring mediators and conflict managers, young mediators?
Yeah, so the way I look at mediation, and that's what I would like to convey to them, that this is a blessing. When I talk about a blessing, see, you are ultimately the harbingers of peace. And that is something where, the society today needs people to hear them. Everybody's so short on time that they need somebody who is listening. And when we talk about this, we talk about an empathetic, with empathy, you listen with empathy. And that is some, and also I would like to extend my thoughts to the youngsters, is that do not quit easily, keep pursuing, get into the heart of things, aligned with the objectives, and also be professional, be respectful, and stick to the process. Once you have trained, and also keep honing your skills, it's just not just about the mediation training. It is several, as you step ahead, you will realize there are several changes happening in society. So keep at it. So once you know that this is something either you choose to do pro bono or professionally, that's completely your own choice. Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on the statement that dispute resolution skills are life skills?
Certainly, I would say, in the dispute resolution mechanism, if you see, we have arbitration, we have litigation. And when we talk about mediation in special, I would say mediation to a large extent is about your life skills, which you need to put into practice daily or regularly, if not daily. So basically, see, you're again, I come to the point that you're making peace, right? You're healing people. You are thinking critically. You're putting your creative mindset to work. You're building trust. You are also building, a flexible platform for the parties. You're trying to make relationships work better. So all that is something which is a part of your life skill. And this is something which you should understand as a mediator. If they are ingrained within your personality, it will help you once you are mediating. And of course, when we talk about ancient India, wisdom, prudence, and reason were the three factors which were, kind of, when we had our old systems, that's how mediation earlier times, when ancient India used to work, these are the three factors: wisdom, reason, prudence, which was much in use. So going back to good old days as well would help. Yeah.
And so many contracts today have this multi-tiered dispute resolution system, and there are usually like steps which are leading up to arbitration, like pre-arbitral steps, and mediation is usually one of them. But sometimes this is like misused by parties as a tool to delay the entire process up to arbitration. So like they're basically being misused. Mediation is being used as a tool of delay. How do you think that this can be tackled?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a hybrid system of MedArb and ArbMed and all that. And yes, putting timelines in the clauses, put certain timelines that would do a lot of
Okay.
advantage. Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
how much do you see ADR and mediation in particular growing in India in the next 5 years?
See, with, I think, youth like you and your organization, I think we would definitely look at mediation growing big time. And this is like, right now, maybe it's we are taking baby steps, but eventually they will be giant steps. And once the law is in place, I think that would be really, really good for us.
Yeah.
And the support of the bar and the bench, nevertheless, should always kind of something which we look forward to. And of course, the fact that there's social media being used and awareness being created and publicity being given, I think all these would, and of recent is that Ayodhya matter which happened, and I'm
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
like, that gave a lot of exposure to people when it was all over in the media that, okay, there is mediation happening. So I think these kind of things would definitely, 5 years from now on, we would look at it in a very big way. Yeah.
So,
I'm very hopeful, and I'm really
so thank you so
so I
much
think
for this.
this has been really,
Yeah, this was
you're
really
most
great,
welcome,
and
Snigdha.
I'm sure we'll learn loads from you. So, thank you so much, ma'am.
It's from you too, and your team.
Ma'am, sure.
You can resolve it, is the key.
Okay, so go ahead, ma'am. It's all.
Okay. So dispute resolution is a life skill. Everybody should learn it, and you can resolve it too. Thank you.